100 years ago, Count Camillo walked into a bar in Florence, just like this one, and ordered a drink with gin. It's now known as a Negroni. We've never had one. We're gonna go get a Negroni, and we're taking you along. Let's go. Welcome back. We are at Terralina Crafted Italian. Disney Springs, formerly the location for Portobello.
We loved Portobello. This is our first time here.
First time here.
Yeah.
It's Italian. It is themed on the northern lakes region of Italy, the foot of the Alps, on the resort area known as Lake Como, and that's named after the singer Perry Como.
Wait, the lake is named after the singer?
Yes. No.
Wow.
No, of course not.
Oh, you... I was like, wow, that's something. They have a whole lake named after you.
Another bar on Disney property, counting towards our 100. So bar on Disney property, or as we like to say, Mickey Bar.
Mickey Bar.
And we are here to get a Negroni.
I'm a little nervous about a Negroni.
One part gin, one part vermouth.
The gin is what kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm not a gin girl, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
So, gin, vermouth, Campari, and an orange peel. So, Campari is like a fruit liquor, so it's a dark red
liqueur.
Fruit
liqueur.
A liqueur.
There's a difference between liquor and liqueur. Liqueur is more like usually sweet and like very flavorful, I feel like. Liqueur, you would use a smaller amount of it in a cocktail to add flavor.
100 years ago, 1919, Count Camillo goes into a Florence cafe and he orders a popular drink at the time, the Americano, but he wants it with gin. He wants it stronger. And hence, the Negroni is born. He was born Camillo Negroni, so obviously the drink is named after him.
So he actually has a drink named after him?
He does.
Unlike the lake that is not named after
Not
the
named
singer.
after the singer Perry Como.
All right.
So Count Camillo, well-traveled, spent a lot of time in Europe, a lot of time in America. It's said that he actually worked in the Wild Wild West as he traveled with different shows as a rodeo clown. So that's the story, and so he's a little bit of a rough guy. Likes his liquor strong. Goes to the local cafe in Florence. The bartender that he knows there, he's like, I want you to make me the I think it's an Americano, but he's like, I want you to add gin to it. So the bartender makes it. Actually, the original drink I think is garnished with maybe a lemon. So the bartender garnishes this one with an orange or an orange peel so that Count Camillo knows that it's his special drink, and it catches on and becomes the Negroni, made with gin, not, I think, just vermouth.
And that's the end of your story.
I want a drink named after me.
The Karen? What would be in it?
I don't know, bourbon, probably. Either bourbon or tequila, two very different things, one or the other. Yeah.
Whether it's a clear liquor or a brown
that.
liquor.
Yeah.
Gin. Actually, gin is like in most classic cocktails, right?
Well, I mean, essentially a martini, if you just order a martini, it's supposed to be gin. It's become popular over the years for martinis to be made with vodka now, so that's more prevalent than gin. But the classic martini is made with gin.
Most classic, like a lot of classic cocktails are made with gin.
Correct.
And gin's one of the few liquors, or the spirit, that is really a mixer, or not a mixer. They call it like the sauce of the liquors, because you don't drink gin straight. Like most, vodka, people will do a vodka, people will drink scotch or whiskey, but gin is, people say, I don't like gin. Well, nobody drinks gin. It's always used in a cocktail that's mixed with other things. Basically juniper, so I think that must be the prominent.
Really
it's supposed to be a
herbally
very
or earthy
neutral
tasting.
distilled spirit. So if it's neutral in the flavor that it does have,
Wait, what do you
must
mean by
be juniper.
neutral? Because I think gin has a very prevalent flavor.
It does, but it's re-distilled with the juniper.
So it's almost like an added flavor?
Well, it's like distilled twice. So it's distilled once with very neutral grains. So they use grains that probably don't have a very prominent flavor, and then it's redistilled with juniper or coriander, aka cilantro,
Which
and
I
other
hate,
floral or
which I hate.
herb spices. I have no idea what juniper tastes like, but apparently gin gets its flavor from that. So if you don't like gin, you don't like juniper.
Or if you don't like juniper, you don't like gin.
There you go.
I'm really nervous about this.
Our Negronis have arrived.
They're in plastic because we're sitting outside, not usually plastic cups.
So,
drinking people.
Negroni, we've never had a Negroni before.
Oh, it smells kind of
So,
nice though.
A channel and some folks that we're friends with, The Flept,
Flex.
they talk about the Negronis, having them.
Jeremy loves the Negroni, evidently.
And so we've never had one, and they talk about it, and we've decided that we definitely need to try it. So here we are at Terralina with our first
Cheers.
Negroni. Cheers.
Oh.
Oh, I like it.
Oh. Is that the Campari that you're tasting? Because it doesn't taste like gin at all.
It doesn't taste like
At
gin. Oh, I have no idea. But
This is lovely.
this doesn't taste like gin, and maybe it is the Campari, but this is
Which
really,
I've never had
really
before.
good. And you were worried about this.
I was really worried because I'm really not a fan of gin at all. But this is lovely.
So fans of the Negroni, this could be on our rotation. We like brown liquor, so we like tequila. We like good tequila. We like bourbon. We like scotch. The Negroni might be on the list now.
Yeah, and I was kind of reading a little bit about Negronis, and similar to the martini, it's sort of morphed and changed over the years, where there are millions of different versions of it now, where you can get a Negroni made with bourbon, which initially I was going to do because I was so averse to the gin that I didn't even want to try it, but I'm glad I did.
There's a
I'm glad I
version that's
did.
called the Negroni Sbagliato, I think, which means like the Negroni mistake, which is made with Prosecco instead of the gin. Which I like Prosecco.
It's really bubbly though.
So I would be willing to try it, but I have no problem
I'm
with the
a
classic
fan of the Negroni. Shocking.
Negroni.
I'm surprised at how much I like it.
Not quite halfway yet, but the sweetness, which is the fruit probably from the Campari, is that how you say it? But now I'm definitely tasting the gin after
It's like an
working on it.
aftertaste almost.
Which I'm not sure, like the ice is probably melting a little bit. Not sure if the gin actually seems a little more prominent. Maybe the water is diluting the fruit sweetness and that has the gin coming through, but a little bit of the gin flavor halfway through, but still a really enjoyable drink.
I feel like for me still, when I sip it, I don't taste gin, but then if I wait, that's when it kind of comes after.
100 years old, the Negroni.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. Arrivederci.
I didn't know you spoke Italian.
See what I did there?
Oh, you're funny.